Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Black Ops Cold War Zombies. So I've been playing it for the last few days, and I just kind of want to give my thoughts on it and kind of give you a detailed analysis and review what I think about it. So this is really aimed for someone who's kind of on the fence, thinking about buying it, but wants some more details, further information, analysis before they make the purchase. So that's really what this is going to be like. If you're just looking for a quick and dirty, from someone outside of the normal, big YouTubers who obviously have kind of an invested interest in kind of promoting the hype, my short and dirty is I do highly recommend it. I actually really do like it a lot. It does have some drawbacks. It does have a lot of pros as well. And so let's dive into those pros and cons. And let's start from the very beginning. So when I first spawned into the map, I noticed it has a more immersive feel. The whole kind of game does. You come in, through a helicopter, and it's not just teleporting into a map. You have connections with the outside world, so it doesn't feel just like a complete fantasy. You're there to do a mission. You're on a mission. And so I think it's really cool. And like when you're destroying barriers, you're literally destroying them. Like it's not like press X and the debris goes away. Like clear debris. You actually explode them. You plant explosives and blow them up, which is so cool and is way more realistic. It makes way more sense. I don't know why they didn't do it earlier. And then for like ammo, for example, you're not buying ammo off a wall. You're buying it out of a crate, which makes a lot more sense. And I actually really like the ammo system. I'm going to talk about more of that later, dive into it, but something that kind of takes away from this realistic and immersive effect that they've done a really good job creating is the mini-map and the health bars above enemies such as bosses and zombies. However, after time playing with this, I ended up really liking it. For health bars, they're really helpful for the boss zombies. Not as much for the regular zombies, but really helpful for the boss zombies and knowing how much longer you have until that boss zombie is dead. So I really like it there. And then the mini-map is super helpful, kind of showing you what's near you and all of that. And also up in that corner of the screen, they'll have little hints and guides of what you need to do next for the basics of setting up, like getting power turned on and getting Pack-a-Punch, which I think is really good for the casual player. It got way too complicated in Black Ops 3 and 4, where it was like this huge process where you needed to watch YouTube tutorials to do it. And for the casual player, they don't want to have to do that. And this is this great balance where it's not like so simple where it's like press X on this teleporter and now you got Pack-a-Punch, where there's still like a quest or something to do and accomplish, but it's not so ridiculously complicated that you would never be able to guess it and figure out on your own without a lot of time. You couldn't just hop into a game like, alright, I'm gonna turn on Pack-a-Punch. So I ended up really actually liking those features. So let's come back to ammo and how that works. I really like that. So how it works in this game. So you can go up to any crate, which are all over the map, and the mini-map will show you if you have any ammo crates near you, and you can buy it for any gun. That's not a wonder weapon. Any gun out of the box or on the wall. So and it's all the same price. Everything's 250 points, and for Pack-a-Punch ammo, it's 1,000 points. I love this. I absolutely love this. It takes that luck aspect out of it, which I know some of you really like, but I did not. I hated how a lot of times everything's luck based, where it's like you need to get a certain gun out of the box, and you need a max ammo. You're in a high round, and it's just like I need a max ammo. Well, it takes that out of it. It's literally just you're focused on surviving. You don't have to worry about it as much. And to those of you who say that this is overpowered, it's really not. And that's because of the point system. And so they actually in this game, it's the same point system as Black Ops 4, but it feels way more balanced because of features like this, where yes, it's not bullet based, so you're not able to farm points, but things like ammo, you're not, you spawn in with a gun you can use and keep. It's not overpowered, but you can use it and keep it. You can buy ammo for any gun out of a crate for only 250 points, and buy Pack-a-Punch ammo for only 1,000 points. So it kind of balances itself out there, and then the benefit of this point system is because it's not bullet based, is it really means you can use any gun. in the game in early rounds. Like, if you get a shotgun out the box, go ahead and use it. There's no reason not to, which I really like. And that kind of leads me into the next thing I want to talk about, which is the guns, which the guns are really balanced in this game. There is like no amazing gun, and there's no really shitty guns. The exception of burst weapons, which I just personally don't like, but they're not bad. Nothing's really bad. And what this means is, to me, it gives it more replayability because I can literally just hop in a game. I normally trade out my starting weapon, and then I spin the box for another weapon. And that's it. I can keep those guns, pack-a-punch them, and do that every time, every game, and keep trying out new guns. And I know I'm not going to be screwed because that gun's absolutely terrible. Even if it's not great, it's still a viable option. And I remember them marketing that, and I was like, that's probably not going to be true. Because they still had like the common, uncommon, rare, and those really don't mean as much as you think you would, as you would think they do. Really, like the guns, there's not a huge difference between them. And this does have a downside. It kind of leads everything to be a bit bland feeling. It's like no gun really stands out, and you're not like, I'm so excited I got this gun. However, overall, I do prefer this system because it gives it more replayability where it's like you can keep playing with different guns and see which gun you like, and really any gun's viable. And like with the point system, you can actually, use shotguns on early round. You can get whatever you get out of the box, you can actually really use. So the point system and this kind of all combined, it makes it feel more balanced than how they did it in Black Ops 4. So I actually really like it. I didn't at first. It takes a little getting used to. All of these changes take a little bit of getting used to. But unlike Black Ops 4, where they threw so much change down your face, it was impossible to swallow. They've changed just enough to make it feel fresh, without feeling like, what the heck is this? So yeah. The other thing about weapons is they are customizable to spawn in. I don't really care about this, so I'm not really going to talk about it too much, but you can kind of work towards upgrading your weapons, make them a little better spawning in, add stuff or whatnot. I just don't want them to be OP. I don't want to spawn in with an overpowered, gun. And they're not really overpowered, so I don't really care for it too much. I normally just spawn in with the XM4. Sometimes I switch it up, maybe the AK. Really doesn't matter that much as long as you're not choosing the starting pistol. You're pretty much spawning in with a viable gun that you can keep and pack a punch, but it's not like so good that you have no reason to spin the box. So yeah, so kind of moving from guns, let's now talk about pack-a-punching those guns. The system's the same for the base, where you spend 5,000 points and you get more damage for your weapon. Well, here's where it changes. There is no elemental upgrade, or there is no upgrades that you get by spending that to repack-a-punch your gun. And double pack-a-punch is 15,000 points. And then there is a triple pack-a-punch, but it's 30,000 points. I mean, that is ridiculous. It makes no sense, especially with this nerf point system. It just doesn't. I would have been completely fine with them, just doing like, you could only double pack a punch or even one pack a punch. Just keep it simple, as long as they still had double tap in the game. But that's another thing we'll get to, is that they brought the other perks back. Why not double tap? But anyways, so yeah, I really don't like this about Pack-a-Punch. It's just way too expensive. You have to wait way too long before you can actually double Pack-a-Punch your gun. And because there's no double tap, you're going to find that you're going to want a double Pack-a-Punch gun. It's not like you Pack-a-Punch in this game and you're like, man, I'm set. You just feel like, okay, my gun's okay now. Like, it's not like your gun's overpowered when you Pack-a-Punch it. So this does kind of annoy me, but I do understand why they did this. The idea is to make points more relevant throughout the whole game, or at least longer in the game, because at a certain point in high rounds they will become pretty much irrelevant. But it does keep them relevant for longer because you're working towards, those big expenditures. And so maybe as I get used to this and, I start doing high round attempts, I'll like this more, because I'm sure for high round attempts it gives you something to work towards and probably makes it less boring. But for just normal gameplay, hopping in online, playing to like round 30 or something, I really don't like it. So that kind of leads me to perks, because for perks now, you buy a perk that gives you basically like the alternate ammo types, uh, which is why why not just include it with Pack-a-Punch? It makes no sense. Like I think they just did it so they could say we gave you a new perk. It's not a new perk. Don't let them lie to you like that. The other thing about perks is they're pretty bland. I'm so glad they brought back Jug and they brought back Speed Cola, but they didn't add any other perks, and they marketed it like, oh, you're gonna have unlimited perk slots. So what? there's like there's there's no really new perks to choose from. I am glad that they made the perk slot unlimited, because if we do get new perks throughout the DLC cycle, we'll be able to use all of them at once, which I think is really cool. And it didn't make sense how they revamped everything in Black Ops 4, where it was like they were complaining about these crutch perks, and it was like, yeah, well, if you want us to use, the new perks that you're creating and not just the crutch perks, just give us a couple more slots and we'll use them. But if you've made these perks good and they're basically a necessity to gameplay, of course we're always going to use them. But if you give us, say, another slot, yeah, we'll start trying out all those perks. All those other perks. Absolutely. So I feel like they could have done that in Black Ops 4 without literally changing everything. And Black Ops 4, as much as I dislike the perk system overall, one thing I can't diss on it for is that it had a lot of perk variety, and this doesn't. It really doesn't. Perks are boring. I normally only go for Jug, and I actually get Quick Revive because it not only just helps you revive teammates, but it helps you regenerate your health quicker. Especially playing online, Quick Revive is actually really helpful for co-op, especially because people aren't used to the map, and that people are dying a lot when those bosses spawn in. So it's really helpful to be able to revive people quickly so you don't die while you're reviving them. And then I get Speed Cola last, and then eventually Elemental Pop, but it's really not that exciting. It's just okay. So yeah. It's just I don't know why they felt the need to take out double tap, but bring back the other perks too. It's like, man, it takes out that whole strategy where it's like you could get double tap before you got Pack-a-Punch. And kind of tied yourself over with double tap. Take for example, you're playing with some people online, and they're just you got unlucky. They're not good teammates. They're not opening any doors. You've run out of points pretty much. You got just enough to buy double tap. You got a crap gun or decent gun that you plan on upgrading, but it's not great yet. And so you buy double tap, and it tides you over, and you're good to go for a bit. That's not even a strategy anymore. If you want to keep getting your gun stronger, you need to spend outrageous points. Why? And why bring back the other perks and not double tap? It makes no sense to me. It really, really doesn't. That annoyed me a lot. And then the fact that there's also just no perk variety is just like another insult to injury there. But it is what it is. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. It doesn't break the game for me. But alright, so moving on here, the other thing is that the graphics are really good. It has a really good look and feel. The map is well designed. It's a beautiful map. It's got a lot to do, a lot going on. It's big, but not so big you feel overwhelmed. I really like it. It's a very well-rounded, polished experience. Excuse me. It's not like Black Ops 4, where we got 3 launch maps, but it was a totally unpolished experience. Blue screens, the maps just didn't feel very great. They didn't feel really well designed, except for 9. I did like that. But I would rather one really good map and a well-polished experience than 3, okay maps that you don't get really excited about. So I really like that. One thing I will say about the graphics, though, they are good, but they are not as good as I expected, especially because of, all of the trailers and the rendering. That they kind of made it look way better than it was. But the main thing was, when I just loaded up the game, it looked so blurry and fuzzy, and I couldn't figure out why. I don't know if other people had this problem too, and I maxed out all the settings, and I don't have a crap graphics card. I have a 20 series graphics card, so, it's not crap. It's not super high-end, but it's I have a solid, good mid-range NVIDIA graphics card. And when I boot into Black Ops 3, all I gotta do is turn up all the settings to the max, and everything looks so great. and I did not have that case. I really had to work for it. I had to tweak the settings like, oh my god, and I had to go in the video control panel and tweak everything and figure out why exactly it just didn't seem like it was properly optimized, and I really thought it would be, especially because I had just downloaded the game ready driver that was marketed as, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War ready. So I thought it would be optimized out the gate, and I don't know if it was just maybe optimized for performance, because I was getting ridiculous frames per second when I looked into that, but my graphic quality just wasn't good. Eventually I did fix it. I also downloaded the HD textures, the Ultra textures package, which is 40 gigabytes. It's a lot of memory, or a lot of storage space, but I think it was definitely worth it. You do notice a difference, but even then, that was the first thing I did, and that didn't fix it completely. It's still, something was off. It looked blurry, so I had to spend a lot of time kind of figuring that out. I think I'm not really, actually, I'm not even going to speculate. I don't know what it was, but I basically turned everything on in the panel that I could on max, and not everything, but I tweaked so many stuff. And eventually I did get a really good looking game. So it does look really good. And overall, like I said, it's a really well polished experience. I really like it. So kind of summarize everything up. I really like the new ammo systems. It has enough. That's actually probably my favorite thing about it, is the ammo. I know that sounds so silly, but it makes it so much less frustrating, so much less luck-based, and also adds to that realistic feeling like I was saying. So those are the things I really like the most, are stuff like that kind of realistic feel, that snappy feeling, the good graphics, the immersive setting, the well-designed map, the polished experience. So it just is a really good game. It's really fun. Overall, it does have its drawbacks, like I stated, but overall, it's a great game. It's so fun. I spent so much time playing it, way more than I should have. And yeah, I really do like it. If you're on the fence and you're like, man, this game, it's expensive, go for it. Unless you're really actually tight on money. I know things with the pandemic right now, you know, people are falling on hard times. If you're falling on hard times, I feel for you. I really do. I know a lot of people are going through it. Don't spend your money on this game. Save your money for food or whatever else you need. But if you got the money and you're just trying to debate of whether you should buy it, I would definitely recommend it. And if you are planning on getting the DLC contents later, I would also recommend buying the Ultimate Edition, because of the stupid way that they've done it, where you can't just buy an individual map. You have to get the pass. Just get the Ultimate Experience if you're going to get the DLC stuff. It makes it a lot easier. If you're getting this on console, consider the cross-gen edition. However, you don't need it, because you can just spend $10 to upgrade it. It's actually the same price. It's just going to save you a little bit of a headache, because you'll have it right out the gate, and the upgrade process will be a little bit easier for you. But that's about it. So standard edition is fine too. These are just my recommendations. It's like I said, if you're getting the DLCs, might as well just do it now. It does sting. I mean, it's $90 freaking, but hopefully it'll be worth it. We got some. Hopefully we'll get some good maps. They spent enough time making this map good. Hopefully the next map will be good. And another thing I was worried about is when I saw the Noct, I was like, oh god, is this gonna be like Black Ops 4? It's like every map is just basically, or every Ether map was just a recreation. It was basically just a remaster with slightly different stuff. It's not that way at all. Noct is just like a tiny little part of the map. It's just a nostalgic throwback. That's it. So yeah, it's a totally different. It's its own map in its own right, which is good. That's the way it should be. And so I think the maps that they release after this, if this is an indicator, we're gonna get some good maps that are nice, well thought out, well designed, and well polished. So that's pretty much it. Those are my thoughts on this. I hope this helps some of you out there, who wanted kind of a deeper dive into how it works and everything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'm gonna get out of here and go make myself some dinner. But y'all have some good times playing this game if you get it, and if you don't get it, I totally understand. It's totally up to you. I'm just trying to give you the information to, hopefully make a more informed decision. So, all right, well, have a good night, everybody.